Thank you for joining us again. Hope you're doing okay. Today we're going to be talking about our space and how important it is to us. A lot of us, we take on a lot of stuff. A duty to help, a duty to be there, a duty to be available whenever you're needed. All these are honorable, and it is part of the reason that we are created, I believe. As humans, we can't often survive on our own. We need that human interaction, human support, and all of that. But I believe that there's a time and place for us to also be alone. To help someone, you gotta feel capable. To help someone, you gotta feel up for it. And by up for it, I don't mean you've got all the resources and you're just feeling as though, oh yeah, when I feel like it. Not that, but I mean, filled enough to be able to do that. You're not struggling to the extent where you can't even get yourself out of bed. Or you're not struggling to the point where you've only just began to recover and you are putting yourself in a position where you're at the most vulnerable. And with this, I ask, what is it that you are allowing into your space? Because our space is precious. Our space should be holy. For some of us, we feel like we always have to invite people in. And not until you get to a stage where you realize that it shouldn't always be like that do you begin to relearn those habits that you've already created. Some people haven't got the best of attitude towards life. Some people are always negative. Some people always unknowingly tend to bring people down. And no matter how much it is that you try and encourage them, their experience through life has taught them to be pessimistic. And for somebody that's always optimistic, it can be tricky unless you've trained yourself to navigate the world of a pessimist. Training comes with being able to recognize that sometimes things happen and there's nothing we can do about it. There's certain things that are just way beyond our control. For example, the way other people view us and will behave towards us. People make promises and never keep them. Somebody that you've always stood up for, and the time comes for them to return the favor and they turn their back on you. These are unplanned events, unscripted events that you just can't prepare yourself for. But if we can train ourselves to accept that people are eventually gonna be who they are, then it becomes a little bit more tolerable. In the case of somebody that is negative, we need to, I believe, prepare ourselves for people like that. Do we think that's the sort of energy we need today? Are we feeling as though we can manage that? And if we can't, do we think we can shift that to a different time? It doesn't mean that we ignore the person. I believe it means that we need to be making sure that that energy don't rub off on us, because what then happens is we begin to behave in a way that's not our true nature. Some people would say, ha, I knew they were not always being themselves. They were always acting, so this is their true self, when in reality it isn't. It is actually the opposite. It's just a case of we're having a bad day, and that day is just taking over. Compound that with allowing energy that is not fulfilling, is not going to help the situation, makes you believe that every day is meant to be a bad day, failing to realize that yesterday wasn't. The day before was great, and the day before that wasn't so bad either. And even though we're having a bad day, when we take the time to fully digest and unpick it, we realize that it has been maybe one or two events through the day that have just made it harder, harder to bear. So my question is, how do we go through that while making sure that we don't hurt the people that we're trying to be there for? It's hard. It's very hard. The struggle of trying to make sure that you're not selfish whilst making sure that you are replenished is one that all of humanity is going to continue to deal with. But it is important that we try our best to minimize the energy that is not one that aligns with us within our space. For example, if we are looking to take a break and just process what's gone on for the day, we should be able to do that. We should be able to say, you know what, I just need 10 minutes, an hour, 2 hours to just sit in the car and just breathe. Listen to music. Whatever it is we listen to, high beat, low temperature. Speak to somebody that sees the world differently to us, but can always poke a light into what we haven't thought of. Because when things are going wrong, our mind directs us to all the possibilities of it getting worse. We catastrophize this thing that we've started, what if it gets worse? What if this matter never gets resolved? What if, what if, what if? When in reality, we just need to sit back, observe, reflect, and go again. That phone call that you haven't picked up because you don't feel ready to address that situation, there's going to be another opportunity to address it. Maybe we could just say, we're not available at the moment. I'll call you back soon. That allows the person to feel appreciated and noticed, whilst we are making sure that we are ready to be there like we want to be. Where are you listening from? Let me know in the comment section below. And what would you do? Or what do you do in instances like this? Please share so that we can all learn with one another. Until next time, it's been Kings. Peace. Bye for now.